My name is Hulda Serro. I am a musician and a music teacher and a music lover. As a young girl, I remember watching students perform for the president on KBC, and I would be very excited. It was just the most intriguing thing ever. From the costumes to the dancing to the movement up and down to those things at the back, which I grew up and found out were called backdrops. Just everything was just so beautiful. Then, when I was 7, the primary school that I was in was hosting the Kenya Music Festivals. And if you don't know what that is, it's a music festival where students of all different ages and all different schools come together to compete in different categories. And the winner gets to win a huge trophy. They get to perform for the president. And most important of all, you get bragging rights. You can say, we won. And for a student, that sounds like a good deal, in addition to missing class. So, good deal, yeah? So, our school was hosting the music festival. And actually, I have to applaud that administration because they made sure that the normal school program was running as we are hosting. So me, I'm 7 years old. I'm in class, probably trying to learn which color comes first in the rainbow and the difference between indigo and violet or something. But I'm very distracted. At the back, I can hear this thing, and I want to know what that is. My curiosity has been, ignited. So I go there, can I go to the toilet? And as I'm going to the toilet, I pass by the hall, and they had actually really covered that hall with manila paper so that, no distractions. But at the door, which was made of glass, there was a hole that I could peep inside. And right there, in front of me, that thing that I've been seeing on TV, live and in person, the dancing, the costumes, the whole extravaganza right in front of me. And I was so excited. And I remember, in as much as I was very young, that is the moment when I fell in love with music. And I decided that is what I wanted to do. About a year later, we moved houses, so I had to transfer schools to go to a school that was nearer to where we lived. And again, lucky enough, there was a new teacher in that school who wanted to introduce a music program. So we'd get to do that thing. That thing I saw? We'd get to do it. But was I talented, really? I don't know. Because at this point, the only music I'd done, or anything close to music and dance, when you go out with your parents, and then they say, watoto sasa wakuje, wadance hapa mbele, and you dance and dance and dance, and then you're given a sweet or like a 1 shilling, and you're like, I'm rich. That's the only thing I'd done, so I didn't really know if I was talented. But I knew if that's what we are going to do, the whole thing for the president, sign me up. So I tried and I auditioned, but I never really got any significant roles. When other people are dancing and there's a whole group of students at the side just doing like, yay, that was me so clearly. I wasn't very good at the time. Then when I was 10, something else happened. See, in our school, there was this thing. So if if a teacher is on duty, then it means that teacher's class gets to lead whatever is happening at the assembly for that week, or like we used to call it parade. So when you go to the parade, that class is the one that leads. If it's praise and worship, it's singing of the national anthem, the class leads it. And for our class, every time our class teacher was on duty, there was this one girl who used to sing. But for some reason this day, either she just wasn't feeling like it, or maybe she was sick. I don't know. Maybe let me give her the benefit of doubt. My memory says she was just being a diva, but maybe maybe she was sick. So, and the teacher was like, "Okay, fine. If you don't want to do it, who wants to do it?" And everyone's hand shoots up. Cha, me, cha. So me, because everyone else was raising up their hand, even me. Cha. And for some reason, she said, "You." And I was like, me? What? Me? Why? And it's like 5 minutes to parade. And as soon as she picks me, before we can even run the songs that we are going to sing, the bell rings and we have to go for assembly. And we go down, and I just was like, okay, I don't know, but let me just sing. And I was leading the class in singing. And I sang, and everyone was like, whoa, who's this girl with a big voice? Wow. And it felt really good, really, really good. And I guess I was really good because now after this, I stopped being the girl for, yeah. I was being given more significant roles. The soloists and, the lead person over there still can't dance. So I wouldn't be told to dance. But now I would lead. And when there's guests coming, guest of honor, me, I'd be that child at the front singing for parents and for wageni waheshimiwa. And okay, now we're going for music festivals and everything sounds nice. But then it was very difficult because, like every other African household, or like majority of African homes and African schools, no one really thinks that these co-curricular activities make any sense. As long as it's taking any time, even if it's just 30 minutes out of class time, then this thing is evil and you should not do it. So every time my mom or my parents would come to school, that's the thing they'd hear from teachers. Why is your daughter doing this? Why is she out of class? Why are they going for festivals? She's wasting time. And so I'd go home and I have to deal with that situation. You should stop. You should focus on your studies. That is the way of life. And I'm just like, me, I want to do that thing for the president. I don't know why you're not getting it. Me, I saw Uko in the hall and on KBC, people doing for the president. And me, I want to do that thing. So I started to hide. Luckily, when you're in primary school, the festivals are not that consuming. Okay, at least for that school, because we weren't that good. So it didn't really go far. So to the levels we'd proceed to, we'd only need like the school period. You go and by the time even school is over, you're already back. So my parents didn't need to know as far as I was concerned. So I lied my way through my whole primary school life, participating in this music thing. And then I got to high school. And now my high school was doing all these things on a grand level. Me, at this point, we used to sing, in a Kasimi circle, and it's like, ooh, wageni. But now it's the whole stage and backdrops and up, down and costumes and different characters. It's a whole production, and I was just so fascinated. And of course, I'm going to do this thing. Plus now I'm in boarding school. I don't have to go home and answer questions. But now there's still Parents' Day. When they come, they have to hear it. Oh, your child is spending too much time in music festivals and in drama festivals. And I was so good. I was really excelling. I'm here soloing and we are doing well. And like I said, our school was really good. And we'd always, especially for music festivals, we'd always proceed to the nationals. So you had to ask for permission from your parents. And that's when now I'd need my parents to know, okay, she's participating in this thing. When you're in Form 1, it's okay. When you're in Form 2, it's okay. Now when you're getting closer to finishing, it becomes a bit of a problem. When they come to school, all they hear is every teacher saying, your child is wasting time. Your child is not focused because she's participating in this music thing. But then there was this one teacher, Mrs. Helen Kinywa. You see, this teacher was a music teacher in my school, but she wasn't even my music teacher. She was just a music teacher who saw something in me. Maybe it was the passion or my gift or something, but she saw something in me and she decided to really invest her time and her emotions into my art. She's the only teacher who really supported me. Again, now in my high school, because we were really good and we'd really proceed and do all these things with the co-curricular activities, there was this one rule that once you become a candidate, you cannot participate in either drama festivals or music festivals because they'd be too time consuming. But as a Form 4, Mrs. Helen Kinywa made sure that I was the only candidate on that bus for a whole week going for music festivals, the week before MOOCs. And she made sure that I went and made sure that I was okay because my classmates were not there really, so I was the only candidate going. And of course, we proceeded to go for nationals, and now I'm panicking. I'm like, okay, so how do I tell my mother? Not even my dad. My dad is in the arts, so that's easy for him to understand that it's just passion. But how do I go home and tell my mom, we have to travel for nationals, please give me permission. I'm coming home so that I can prepare and we have to travel. There's no way I was going to have that conversation with my mother, not when it's 4 months to national examinations. So I make peace with the fact that this is it, I don't even know if I'm going to do this music thing after this, so it's fine. I've run my race, I have fought the good fight. And at this point, I'm content with what I've done, and it's okay. But Mrs. Helen Kinyo sat me down and said, "Don't worry, it's okay. I'll talk to your mother." And she called my mom. I don't know what she said to my mom. She called me to her office after a few hours and said, "Yeah, it's okay. So you'll go home tomorrow and prepare so that you can come and we go for nationals." And I'm like, hey. Maybe she just said okay over the phone, but when I go home, I'm going to have to deal with so much. But I packed my things and I went home and I opened the gate and my mom saw me and she was very excited. I was so confused. You're like, is this a trap or am I safe? What's happening? Because I'm not used to it. It's always been, since primary school, it's always been, this is a waste of time. Why are you doing this? But I don't know what Mrs. Helen Kinywa said to my mother, because I got in and my mom said, "Oh, welcome. You know what are the days you're welcomed with? Welcome, my child." Okay, I thought this would be the day that you're called all 5 names in the birth certificate. Hulda Serro, what did I say? But my mom said, "Welcome. In fact, I've bought you some strep stills. Go check in my bedroom so that when you go for the festivals, your voice is okay." I'm like, yeah, okay, this is different. And she really supported me. From then on, I don't know what my teacher said to my mom, but she's been very supportive of my music journey since then. And we went and we did very well in the national level. And we came back and I sat my exams. And as all teachers were there cursing me out and telling me how unfocused I am. In fact, my chemistry teacher said, "I curse you." What? That was very strange. But she said that, and everyone was really against it, but she held my hand. In fact, when I was sitting my exams, Mrs. Helen Kinywa used to give me her tea. In high school, they were drinking tea with good milk is a privilege. Where? You better know. But she used to call me and I'd drink her milk. And when I didn't have papers, I'd sit with her in the music room and she'd encourage me. And I'm so glad. So today, I am a music teacher and I believe most of that is because of what Mrs. Helen Kinywa did for me. And I hope to do that for someone else because she chose to go beyond what everyone else was saying, what all the other teachers were saying, what really my parents were saying, to believe in this dream that I had, to plug into this passion that she saw in me. And I now today, as a musician and as a music teacher, I hope to also go beyond and encourage every student that I encounter so that one day when they're sitting here and telling their story, they'll say, "There's one Hulda Serro who held my hand and talked to my mother, and my mother gave me strepsils." Thank you very much.